Welcome back to the channel, everybody. In today's video, we're going to be talking about creating a sense of urgency in order to realize that today is indeed the day. Not yesterday, not tomorrow. Today is the day where we can, and with the right strategies and tools, we'll have the greatest day of our lives. Much more than talking about it, we will do a really cool exercise to help you realize about the importance of your day and get you motivated to create awesome and unique days. You are what you consistently do. And this is part of a small series about really making or designing the best days possible. So if this is interesting to you, please consider subscribing to the channel. I like to divide my life into day compartments. That's also kind of my job as a project manager in the tech industry. Dividing huge projects into small, doable today tasks. Sometimes we tend to look at a picture that is way too big. This year I will do this or that. That doesn't give me a sense of clarity. In fact, quite on the contrary, this tends to overwhelm me because I don't know where to start. But for a day, well, that's much easier. I know there are 24 hours in a day. I need to sleep that many hours. I need time to work out and to meditate. I need to work on my side projects, and I need to spend some time with the family. One day at a time, we will create the best lives possible. Another reason why it's a really good idea to compartmentalize our lives into days as opposed to years or even months is that this gives us a direct focus on the process. We talk often about how it's important to focus on the process and not on the outcomes. Yes, we can make goals for the day, and we should. We will talk about that in this series. But I prefer to calling those daily goals today's intent. But obviously, these will be much smaller goals than yearly or even monthly goals. And because they are so much smaller and we have only a couple of hours to accomplish them, we have a clear picture of the expected outcome and we are synced deeper into the progress. We know exactly what needs to be next. Yearly goals, on the other hand, just make things very abstract. Who knows what can happen in the next 12 months? Probably a lot of unexpected events, big and small. 12 months ago, I didn't know I would be a father. We didn't know we would be quarantined right now with this virus. There's many changes in our reality. Now, I push this to the extreme, dividing my days into smaller blocks, but we'll talk about that later in the series. For today, as always, I want to keep things practical and give you a really cool exercise so that you can realize how urgent it is for you to start living great days. Remember that we want to create a sense of emergency, of urgency, to create great days so that we can stay motivated and follow through on our habits and daily protocols. You remember when I talked about the Stoic philosopher and Emperor of Rome, Marcus Aurelius, we talk about him a lot, and in his phrase memento mori, you could live life right now. Live your life as if today was the last. Create some urgency to live the greatest day and the greatest life possible. So here's the exercise. I didn't invent it. It's from a book called Die Empty, and it was written by Todd Henry. I will link the book in the description below. It's a really good book that I recommend you to read. So the exercise goes as follows. Imagine that when you wake up tomorrow morning, someone is there with you, watching your every move, watching your alarm ringing, and you may be pressing that snooze button 43 times and then finally opening your eyes and jumping straight to your phone, Instagram or Facebook or Twitter, TikTok, what's there now. Certainly not preparing yourself for an optimized day or for being present with your loved one next to you or simply present with yourself. So he's watching you having a non-optimal breakfast of fast sugar. He's watching you rush to work all late and stressed and sweaty and angry. And that person observing you is there with you all the time, moment after moment. And guess what he's doing? He's taking notes. He's there watching you interact with your colleagues, with your friends, with your family, and he's there taking notes on his little notebook. He's not judging you or anything like that. He's just reporting and documenting the facts, observing very diligently and taking notes on every minute of your life. From the moment you get up until the moment you get to sleep, he's right there next to you, documenting every little thing. And after that, after you go to sleep, he goes off, sits at his desk, and makes a summary. The summary of your life, because what you do is who you are. This little summary will serve as or represent the embodiment of your entire life. Remember the importance of habits we talked about a few times here. You are what you consistently do. It doesn't matter if what you do is good or if what you do is bad. If it's important or mundane, these actions are what define you as a person, as a human being. So by definition, this summary, written from the events of your day, is the most accurate description of who you are, not who you were or who you might become. That doesn't matter. These people don't exist. But the only person that really matters, who you are right now, who you are today. So then what? Well, if your children, if your friends, if your family ever want to learn about you, about who you are, they have that little summary. That is you with a big Y. That day is you, because again, and I cannot possibly repeat this too many times, you are not defined. You're certainly not predefined, but you are not defined by your potential or by who you say you are or by what you say you do or could do or should do or would have done given other circumstances. That is fiction, that is conditional living, and that is fiction. You are defined by what you do day in and day out. Now, that doesn't mean you need to strive for perfect. We will talk about perfectionism and it's dangerous in another video on this Designing the Best Days series. But anyway, there is nothing you can fake or pretend or make excuses for. It's all there. Minute after minute, seconds after seconds, documented and summarized. So, how would you live your life, or rather, how would you live your day if that guy started reporting you tomorrow? Actually, forget about tomorrow. How about the rest of today? He's ringing at your front door right now. Go open it. But how would your day change? In what manner, in what way would your day change? How would your interactions change? What would you do differently? What would you be the most embarrassed about in that little summary, and how would you turn things upside down, spiraling it up to feel proud of yourself? What is this one thing that you will absolutely change ASAP? Not tomorrow, but today, because you are sure as hell you don't want to be seen, you don't want that to be seen by your loved ones in that summary. Well, guess what, my friends? You do have someone observing you moment to moment, day in and day out, and that person is you. Everything you do, or don't do, for that matter, makes a mark on your life. What does that translate into? Well, first of all, it doesn't only influence your life, it influences the opinion you have of yourself. It influences your self-worth, your self-love, and maybe even more importantly, your self-confidence. I hope I'm communicating this message properly to you. Let me put it this way. What you do today will not only impact your day, not only impact tomorrow also, and ultimately your life. It will impact the way you view yourself and look at life. So today is the day you build a strong relationship with yourself, a strong relationship between you, the actor, and you with big Y, the observer, the documenter of all moments and interactions, and summarizing them into what is your life. Last thing to remember here is that today is the day. I've said it before, right? But I want to emphasize the today here, because you should not worry about tomorrow, or even less about yesterday. You can take notes and plan for tomorrow, that's fine, or you can write a few areas to improve 1% tomorrow. But what I'm trying to communicate here is the importance of living in the present moment, because this is the only way or the only place in the world where you can live your greatest life, moment to moment, day after day, minute after minute, at the highest level, at your peak of your potential, allowing you to fulfill your purpose, living up to your duties and accomplish your goals, whatever they might be in any area of your life. If you're a subscriber to this channel, then you guys know that I post guided meditations here every single day. Well, meditation is that. It is merely a practice in being mindful of your own observations. Mindfulness is a skill, observing ourselves is a skill, and meditating daily is a great tool to get better at that skill. This is at least partly why we meditate, and the concept we've talked about today is a way to apply that skill in order to forge the greatest days of your life and live your full life and live your life at the fullest. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. I will link, as promised, the book I talked about here, Die Empty by Todd Henry. It's a good book that goes quite deep into that subject, so I recommend that you have a read. There is more to come in this mini-series of designing and creating the best lives possible, the best days possible. So please hit that like button if you've pumped about this and subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. I highly recommend you turn on the notifications so that you don't miss our future videos. Take care, I'll see you soon. Bye.